Hey, Strawman here. On my way back home to Virginia, spent the weekend in Atlanta. Came down here. I got invited down to go through the complete combatant course with Brian Hill, and absolutely loved it. I came down as a student, but I'm also an instructor and everything. And I think one of the first things that I want to mention is I also learned something as an instructor, which I might be changing that title. I was lucky enough to have conversations with Brian, and he doesn't necessarily call himself an instructor. He refers to himself as a coach, and the reason he does that is a coach is someone that helps you out in finding the answer, and an instructor will just give you the answer, whereas a coach will coach you to find that answer. And I think you're going to remember that a lot better if you learned it on your own, or had some assistance in learning it, rather than someone just throwing the information at you and going, okay, here, learn it. So that was pretty good, and that kind of segues into me coming down as a student. Anytime you go into a class like that, you always have to have an open mind, and I'm one that will humble myself in a heartbeat. I was pretty confident when I went in there, but as the class went along, I found that hey, I'm not ready. I might be ready with a gun, but I'm not ready with hand-to-hand stuff, even with knives. So there's that plus where I learned that. Now, anytime we go to a class, we're also testing out our gear, which my gear, some of it did serve me very well. My holster served me well. I carry appendix. That didn't fall out and crack me in the head, but my tactical flashlight, my Surefire, did fall out. Didn't crack me in the head, but it was close enough, and it fell on the floor. Now, when you're upside down, being dragged around the dojo by Jack Clemens, and your flashlight falls out, it's kind of funny, but if you're out on the street, it's not very funny. So basically, I'll be finding another way to carry that so it doesn't fall out no matter what. Now, I'll also carry a knife. That didn't fall out, but it's a fold-up knife. It's not a defensive knife. It's a utility knife, basically. It's a SOG. So I'm going to start carrying two knives. One for cutting ropes and things like that, and the other one's going to be a defensive knife, which most likely I'll carry left side appendix. So I'm going to be looking around for that. But everything else, the equipment that I had with me did really well. Now, as far as the information that I learned, that's where I humbled myself, because like I said before, I'm not ready, and I need to get ready. I have an issue with getting up off the ground, which that's something that you really need to do to try and get away from your attacker, or whatever the case may be in the situation given. But that's a weakness that I'm going to work on. Also, hand-to-hand stuff. I mean, I don't do any of that, and I'm going to. So, again, I found out what my weaknesses are. Had the great assistant coaches there, point out some things, show me some things. Sean Brogan and Jack Clemens, great people, and I learned a lot from those guys, and they're top-notch people. So, not to ramble or anything like that. Like I said, I'm on my way home. I'm going to try and make this as short as possible so I don't put anybody to sleep. But it's an excellent course. You'll learn a lot about situational awareness, things you might not have thought about. Don't want to give away any trade secrets or anything like that. You're better off coming to the course. It's something that you can jump into at any skill level. I've taken several pistol classes, rifle classes, Force 1 Force classes, and things like that. But this is a class that actually you can take this first and then go get your pistol, or you can get your pistol, take a few pistol classes, take this course. So it's something that it's not necessarily needed to be first, last, middle. But anyway, that's my after action report. I'm going to do another video basically about some other things that did a little bit on the philosophical side. But I had a great time. Those guys are great people, and you know, I went down and got a few more friends. So, you know, lead, follow, or get out of the way.